Hello, everyone. Just making sure I am live, and it looks like I am. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. So it looks like we've got a couple people jumping on. Will you guys throw something in the chat so that I know that you can hear me and see me? Yes, no. I'll wait. Hello. Okay. All right. Yes, you can hear me. Hey, Susie. All right. So hi, everybody. It's Thursday, and I am doing another Facebook Live. And I talked about this last week. I am trying to, practice this because I'm not very good at it. And as the leader of the group, I probably should go live in the group, which was advice given to me by my coach. And so this was something I decided to start doing at least once a week in this group, just to go live, even if it's for something short, to say hi, to connect with you all. And because there's this little thing called the Etsy, Star Seller Program that rolled out yesterday, much to our surprise, that I thought it would be good to talk about that today. And we can certainly talk about other things, but I thought that would be very timely. And so hello, everybody. Hi. And because I'm using StreamYard, I can't necessarily see all your names. I think you have to allow StreamYard to use your name. You have to follow the instructions there. But I have my phone here, so I can always look at comments. Ooh, but that's not good. Okay, so let's talk about this. Right, everybody? Hey, I can't see all of your names, but I can see your comments popping up. So if you don't know me, I'm Jessica Trueblood. I am the original underachiever. Started this group December 2019 when I was famously kicked out of another Facebook group for asking questions that at the time seemed really simple and basic to me, but it didn't go over well. So I started my own group, and here we are with 17,000 very good friends all together on this journey. And a couple of things that you might not know about me. I live in Colorado. Some of you know that. I live in Colorado with my husband and my son. I've been here for over 20 years. I love Colorado. It's amazing. And in my professional career, I have been in the adult learning space for, 15 years now. And I have a master's of education. So all of my training and my life's work has been about teaching, which is really why this, the Etsy coaching and training was such a natural fit for me, because I already knew so much about how to teach adults. And as I learned the Etsy platform, I realized that was a way for me to bring together the two most exciting things in my life at the time: my Etsy business and my love for learning and training and coaching. So I still work. I work part-time now. I had a full-time sort of high-level job at a nonprofit, and after the pandemic, my priorities shifted a little bit, right? And I kind of said, what are the things that are going to really be best for my family? And so I do contract work. I still work in the professional space, and I'm doing my business and my Etsy shop and some other odds and ends too. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Best group ever. Thank you. I love this group. I think you guys know that. I'm in this group all the time. In fact, every week when my iPhone tells me how much I've been on my phone, I cringe because I'm on Facebook a lot. But this is what I love. So it works for me. Okay, so that's me. If you're new to the group, I'd love for you to say hi. you know, the best thing about this group is that this community that we've all worked for, that I'm really proud of, because yesterday when other groups, I'm in some other groups, I kind of just lay low. I like to sort of hide. I like to see what goes on in other groups, because then I learn the things that I don't want to do in our group. There was a lot of panic yesterday about this program. I learned about it yesterday too, when you all did. There's no, Etsy doesn't release this information early to certain people, but so I learned about it when you guys did. And if you've been around Etsy for a while, you will know. And I'm saying this, and I'm going live really to help hopefully ease some of your fears and your anxiety about this program, because I don't think it's going to be the bad negative thing that some people are worried about right now. Now, is it perfect? No, and will it have some quirks, and will we be moaning and groaning about it? Most likely, and that's okay. But if you've been around on Etsy for a while, you know that this is not the first time, and nor will be the last time that they roll something out. Typically, sellers hate the things that they roll out. I mean, thinking about ODR, if you remember what ODR was, that was a big one. That was huge and very upsetting for sellers. It's gone now. It's gone. It didn't pan out for Etsy. Maybe this is, who knows? When they did in the US, the free shipping over 35, everybody was up in arms about that. It won't work. It's going to kill my business. So anyway, let's go through. I made some slides because I'm a trainer by trade and I like visuals. So I made a couple slides on the screen, and I thought we could just kind of talk about what you're hearing, and hopefully this will help reassure you that I don't think this program is punitive. I don't think it's going to hurt anyone. I think it's one of those kind of, oh, this would be nice, and if it doesn't apply to me, whoops, and my shop, then that's going to be okay. Let me just make sure you can see the screen, because that would be bad. Okay, I think you all can see the screen. I'm going to turn my volume down. Oh, there's auto captioning. That's awesome. All right. So let's talk about this. I'll try to keep an eye on the comments here. Yep, Heather. Okay. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the comments for questions that you have. But so this is what we know. This was information that was published by Etsy. I got an email, and it's on your dashboard, the seller dashboard on a desktop. You can't get to it on the app. It's not there. So I pulled this right from the program, and this is what we know. On the 1st of every month, so it looks like these are going to refresh every month starting in September. So this is not live yet. This isn't fully happening. They're giving us a month or so to sort of wrap our heads around this. And looks like they're going to go back 3 months. So at the beginning of every month, there's going to be like this 3-month rolling period of time where we're going to be looking at this data. So it's not just 1 month. So if you're on vacation, or it's not just 1 month. So it's the previous 3 months. So they're starting with, June, July, or whatever, May, June, July, for this trial period. It's beta, right? Okay, so they're looking for these things, these 3 things. Response rate. Okay, so what they've said is that you have to respond to 95% or more of the initial messages from buyers within 24 hours. So we'll talk about that. So that's one of them, response rate. Shipping, 95% or more of your order ship within your stated processing time. So whatever you pick for your processing time, that's what you need to stick to. And with tracking or with a shipping label purchased by Etsy. So that does not mean that you have to use Etsy labels, because I saw somebody say that. That's not what this means. That is one way to make this requirement work. Oops, sorry, I see this should have been another bullet. So there's 4 things. So either, you have to make sure that your things are shipping on time, and they need tracking. And that's one area where I think they have some work to do, but this is what we have right now. So you have to use tracking, 95% or more of your orders that are shipping, and they have to have tracking, or you have to purchase a label from Etsy. This one, which should be a bullet, 5-star ratings. Okay, this is pretty self-explanatory. In a rolling 3-month period, you have to have 95% or more of your reviews with 5 stars. Okay, and then this last one, orders, sales, and tenure. So maintain orders. So that means during that 3-month period, you have to have 10 orders and around 300 in sales, depending on your currency, in your 3-month review period. And you have to have been on Etsy for 90 days since your first sale. So I was seeing people yesterday saying, well, I'll never make $300 a month. It's not $300 a month. It's a 3-month period where you have to have at least 10 orders and 300 sales. And this says to me, they're trying to reward the shops that are active. I mean, 10 orders in 3 months. If you're brand new, you may be thinking that sounds really hard. And over time, this is not a one-time you qualify and that's it. They're going to reset this every month. So if you're brand new, it might take you a couple months to be eligible for this. I think that that makes some sense right there. And then at the bottom, it says if you're outside of the US and you don't use dollars, there's a link here. I won't go to it, where you can figure out the shipping data. And I think it sounds like there's some different rules for other countries. So I don't want to speak to that yet because I don't have that information. Okay, so that's the basics. Right. So what do you guys think? How are you feeling about this? I get the gist. Yesterday, people were pretty stressed out about this. But overall, it seems fairly normal. In fact, one of the things I was thinking about yesterday, so eBay has something like this. It's called I even forget what it's called now. I just looked it up. There's an eBay seller designation that you can get for similar things. Sellers don't really care about it. I'm sorry, buyers don't really care about it. And I didn't even know. I've been selling on eBay since 2003, and I didn't even know this existed. I bought and sold, no problem with it. Also, there's an app that I use called Garage Sale, and it's not for selling my Etsy stuff. It's for selling toys and clothes and stuff in the neighborhood. They have a seller designation. No one talks about it. It's not a big deal. It's sort of the same thing. If you respond to messages quickly, if you're active, if you have a certain amount of sales, you get this little star. I've never had one, and I sell tons of stuff on that app. I don't think that this is going to be the showstopper that I have heard there is some concern that it will be. So, all right, so let's go to the next. So that's what we know. I was thinking about, there are some things that you can do. There's some workarounds that some people have already discovered, and we'll talk about these for tracking. So I understand that digital shops that sell digital are probably not going to be eligible for this star seller at this time, and who knows what will happen. That's what I read. For people, and I'm one of those people, Jen Bernardi is one of these people, some of our products are not physically shipped, so they're custom. So I do Etsy shop reviews. I have the listing in my shop. When you buy one, you get it emailed to you in a file. There's no exchange on Etsy other than I have to go in and complete them. So TJ Hicks actually told me about this. She does a lot of digital custom work as well. So I tried this yesterday. We will see. I guess I have 3 months to wait and see what happens. In your orders, when I was going and just completing, marking them as shipped, you can go in and add to this is either an order that needs to be completed, or I went into my completed orders and went through, it said I had 14 without shipping. Okay, fine. So I went in and added tracking to every one of those that was previously just emailed to the buyer. So, and in the tracking number field, I put digital delivery. That's what TJ recommended to use. So it did complete every single one of those orders, but it didn't update my star thing, which is fine because honestly, I don't care. But I want to see, I'm going to do this experiment and see if this changes my statistics when the beginning of next month rolls out. So that's one thing you can do, is if you need a tracking number, but you don't track things or you don't send them via mail, try putting digital delivery here. Now, someone just mentioned in the group, Let's see. Okay, I'm reading the comments. Yeah, Susie, I don't think buyers are going to care one way or the other. And we'll talk about this in a minute. So if you do local pickup orders, I don't know if there's a workaround for that. I suppose you could put in local pickup or something and mark it. And what you're looking for is that it's been marked as completed by Etsy, because Etsy was saying to me that I had 14 orders that were incomplete, which I knew wasn't true, but I didn't know this was a thing. So we can try that as well. We don't know if this will work long term, or what the ramifications will be. We're learning as we go, right? So that's one of the workarounds with tracking. I was thinking about this. This came up in another group that I saw, and I tested it. So messages. Communicating with your buyers is super important, and we know that. And we'll also have to keep in mind, Etsy is using artificial intelligence to grab these numbers. I mean, this is millions of sellers, and they have a program that probably does a quick search and brings back numbers. So there's going to be flaws. These numbers are not always going to be accurate. There's just no way. So supposedly, if you only have to respond within 24 hours to the first message from a customer. So that's what you have to do. And I thought I was doing really well on this. Apparently I missed like 7 messages in the past 90 days within 24 hours. And then I realized I was on vacation during that time. And so this might be one of the only reasons that for me would make sense to put my shop in vacation mode. These things wouldn't be held against me. But I was on vacation. I might not have been the quickest to respond. So here's a thing that we can try if you're interested. And this is the seller platform on the desktop. You go to messages, and then you go all the way over to auto reply. Okay. And you click on that. It looks like this. You have to move this little button over. You could put something simple. And this is the part that I don't love. And I don't know why they do this. You can only set this for 5 days at a time. You can't like set, a permanent message. The permanent message forever, which would be awesome. So if you're going to be like, if you work during the day and sometimes you can't get to people right away, you're going to be out of town, or that this is not your strength, you may want to invest some time every Monday morning or whatever into setting up an auto reply for that week. Because it says if you need to do it for longer than 5 days, consider turning on vacation mode. And again, lots of people use vacation mode, no problem. So this is like, if you're going to be away, you set this, and this should bounce back an auto reply message to anyone who messages you in that 5-day period. That could work. Is it going to be kind of a pain in the butt? Yes. So every 5 days. So, I mean, and like someone was saying in the chat, I know that some of this data is not correct. It is what it is, right? And again, this is not, I don't see it as punitive. Either you have it or you don't. And who even knows if buyers are going to know or care? And frankly, like the ones that will probably care the most will be the sellers, because we want to appear to have the best shop possible. And I know that it feels punitive to some people. And I wish I had answers. I wish I worked for Etsy or I had a contact there, but I don't. So those are some workarounds that I thought were pretty good, at least to get you started. Here's what we know based on the information that we were given, which again is limited to what was in that group, and all the Etsy community chats and the Facebook groups are all full of some incorrect information. So in this group at least, let's be sure that we are thinking rationally about this and qualifying information before it leaves the group. Okay, so Etsy says that carrier or post office delays will not negatively impact your score. So if you dispatch it within your designated time, that's what they're going to be looking at. If I say my turnaround time is 3 to 5 days and I honor that, then I should be fine. I guess we'll see what happens. Cancels and digital orders won't be included in your score. So that tells me that they're not going to include any digital download that's bought from my shop. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see about this. But canceled orders, obviously, if it's canceled, you can't dispatch it. So we will see about that. Cutoff time for your shipping dates is based on your time zone. So this is something that I noticed. My cutoff time, I live in Colorado, the Mountain Standard Time. It's sometime in the evening. I need to look, 9 or 10 p.m. maybe. And that's when it resets to the next day. So if I have something that was supposed to go out that day, I have to make sure that the labels are printed that day. Something to keep in mind. Okay, I'm just looking at the chat again. Yeah, I know. Okay, I know. We're doing our best. Okay, and then your message response rate is based on just your first message from a buyer, not ongoing conversations. And if a buyer messages you once and then starts a new conversation, I believe that is a new conversation and you still have to respond within 24 hours, or you have to mark them as spam. That's the other thing. If you've marked something as spam, it won't count toward your response rate. Again, we will see. Marking a conversation unread doesn't restart the clock or count a message you've replied to as new again. So again, these are helpful. If you get sales messages and spam messages from other Etsy sellers or from people that are trying to sell you things, I guess we're supposed to either reply and say no thank you or mark them as spam. That's information that I have. And normally I just delete them, but we'll see. And again, I don't care if I get this star or not. I know I'm a good seller. I know I have products that people want. But if I'm going to play the game, this is how you play the game, I guess. And having the star or not having the star will not affect your search or rank at this time. That's what they've said. So, depends on how cynical you are. I'm pretty cynical. I think I'm going to go with what they've said. Are they going to try to change something later? Who knows? I mean, this wouldn't be the first time that they've implemented something that, like I said before, that sellers are not a fan of. But for now, it's not going to affect you one way or the other. So I'm looking at yet. I know Susie, you're cynical. Who knows? And here's the thing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time and anxiety, because I have enough of that, not time, but anxiety, worrying about whether something's going to happen in the future. I'm just not going to do it. It's not good for me. So what I do know is that this is what we know now, and I'm going to take it or leave it, right? Here's when I'm sort of like, oh, whoops. See me and my fancy. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to do the graphics building. So here's my recommendations based on what I've seen. It's been 24 hours, right? It's not starting until September. We have some time to figure this out. Don't panic. Don't panic. And I saw some people in other groups saying, this is it, I'm quitting Etsy. That's your choice. If this is what takes you away from the platform, then you got to do what you got to do. For me, I'm going to ride this out, because I'm in this for the long haul, and I'm going to make this work with or without the star. I do recommend, don't change your business model just to please this program. It's not worth it. If your items, if you're at a price point where you're not going to make $100 a month or whatever, and you do digital or these things, some of the workarounds don't work, then that's it. I'm likely, I could show you my platform, what they give me, my numbers. I'm probably not going to qualify, and I'm okay with that, because I'm going to do what makes sense for my business and not worry about this at this time. This too shall pass. I mean, not that, who knows, they may or may not. This may never come to fruition, kind of like ODR went away. Either way, we'll absorb it, we'll deal with it, we'll make it work, and we'll be on to the next thing, because that's kind of how these things go. Buyers will likely not care. I'm saying this because all the other platforms I'm on, no one cares. And to this next bullet, others will be in the same boat. So this came up, I thought it was a really good point yesterday. If you sell digital files, let's say you sell digital planners or you sell stickers. This was a big thing that I put in my survey, even though it didn't affect my shop. I was thinking all of you and your different shops when I gave my survey feedback. If you sell stickers and it is not in your business model to buy a $3 tracked label with Etsy or whoever you use, because that will bury your business. I don't think you should change it, but that's part of the requirement, is to have the tracking or whatever. So if there's not a workaround for that, all the other sticker sellers, you guys, will be in that same boat. They will not have stars either. And so if the idea here is to sort of reward shops for doing what they should be doing, and I do think that's Etsy's intention. It may not be perfect yet, but I think that was their intention. If a seller goes and they're looking for stickers and a search page comes up and there are, 3,000 different listings, all the sticker sellers will be in the same boat and they won't have stars. And a buyer is not going to be looking for someone with a seller star, because, as you know, sellers buy your things because they like them, because they're photographed well, because you have the right keywords, your price point, everything. They're not going to be diverted by a star. That is my opinion. And everybody in that search will be in the same boat, right? So you'll at least be in good company. The other thing I will say, take the survey. So at the bottom of this page, so on my dashboard, when it said the star seller, at the bottom it said, have a minute to share some feedback. Give your feedback, okay? I mean, I think some people were letting Etsy have it yesterday. Be candid, but give them feedback that they can use, and hopefully the responses will be taken into consideration to make their program the best it can be, if it stays. And somebody posted the link to the survey in the group. If you don't have this here, we can find the survey. Okay, so and then the last point, you are still a star with or without this. I 100% believe that this will not define you. If it's not going to work for your business model, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for mine. Jen Bernardi was saying it's not going to work for her business. That's fine. And so don't let this derail you and make you think that you're going to fail. It's going to be punitive. You're not going to make it, or that there's something wrong with you and what you do, because there is absolutely not. Right? That's my opinion. Again, I know that you all, we can overcome this, and we'll get through it, right? Because this isn't the first time, won't be the last, that there will be something that we don't agree with. All right, so let me look back at the comments. Would having this badge could affect the other ones? Can you have more than one at a time? I don't know, Maria, we haven't gotten enough information about other badges that are coming. I think it's like either you get the star seller badge or you don't, because you've met all of the criteria. It's not like 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3. You either get it or you don't. But I don't know. And who knows, maybe they'll have other things later. Badges are a thing. Facebook has badges. Facebook gives you badges for meeting some criteria about messages. And let me see. So anyway, that's what we know. Let's see. What other questions do you guys have? Yeah, I mean, I think there's just some things that we need to kind of wait and see on. You guys know me. I'm a big supporter of Etsy. I don't agree with everything that they do, but that's okay. I don't have to. And I'm in this business for the long haul. So this is not shaking me. It's not changing anything for me. I'm not running for the hills and, canceling everything. And I don't think that you should either. I think that we'll figure this out. Okay. That's my professional opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. And I know that there'll be some shops who are new and that'll be struggling with some of the tracking. I'm hoping that we will get more information as this goes forward, so that we can, best make decisions for our own businesses, right? Okay. What are you guys thinking? I just talked for like 30 minutes, which is a lot. What do you guys think? Or what other questions do you have? I'll wait while you think. So there's I'm loving the closed captioning on here. That's pretty cool. Other questions? Is anybody excited about this? I've heard a couple of people in the Plus group that were really excited about this. You know, I'm kind of if I get it, cool. If I don't, I'm not going to change my business or bend over backwards to please the system. And it's harder when you're new because newbies don't have a following. Feel more confident if I was more established. So you mean a following? Where would about a following? Tell me more about that. What kind of a following are you referring to? And I can't see your name. I don't like this. I like to be able to see the comments. Oh, that's Crystal or Christelle. Yeah. Tell me more about that. We can talk about it. Now, I do think it's tough. Etsy, Etsy has a board of directors and they have shareholders, and they do things for a reason. I don't think they would do anything to deliberately kill this platform that makes them so much money and makes us money. I think that there will probably be some good that will come out of this, just like ODR. So ODR was when if you had marks against your shop, either for reviews or I think it was in like intellectual property strikes, that they could close your shop. And that one went over like a lead balloon, as you can tell, that. But I think the intention was to try to get bad sellers off of the platform, right? And that felt like a way that they could do it. And I think that unfortunately it didn't really just do that. It also penalized shops that were doing things right, that maybe had, one like a bad review or whatever. But so we'll see what comes out of this. You've only had 18 sales. People haven't found you yet. Yeah, I mean, this won't affect your SEO or your positioning or your ranking. It's not going to affect any of that. And so keep doing what you're doing. This won't make, having this star or not, won't make someone that wasn't going to purchase buy from you. And it won't deter someone who's ready to purchase. Oh, they don't have this stellar star or the seller star. I better not buy. Unrelated question. Do you include the price of the item in all the fees? I'll come back to that. So anyway, that's my opinion. It's only been a day. I'm going to wait and see what happens. But I really want to encourage us as this community to not panic and to really make sure that we are, keeping the negative, incorrect information that will likely be out there out of our heads and focusing on what we need to do for our own businesses. Okay. Please do that for me. And if you have any questions, post them in the group, and we'll do our best. As information comes out, we'll keep you posted, right? Okay, so the unrelated question, do you include the price of the item, all the fees that Etsy charges? I do. I have a pricing calculator that, funny story, you guys want to hear a side story? When this was early 2020, I was starting to get sales on Etsy, and I was like, yes, I figured this out. I'm making it. And my husband, who is very different from me, he's very structured, he's very regimented, and he has a numbers mind, which I have none of those things. He asked me, how's your business going? And I said, yeah, it's great. Oh, I'm doing great. I've got 350 sales. And he said, oh, great. What's your profit margin? And I didn't know. I laughed. And I was like, what do you mean by profit margin? So he helped me set up this spreadsheet that now I actually sell it in my shop. It's an Excel spreadsheet that you put in. I think it's really important to set your prices not by what other people are doing, not by random numbers, but by what you need in order to have a business. So I include my materials, right? That includes everything from the little, like the label to the envelope I stick it in. I include all the stuff, the business card that I slip in. That's really all that I do. I don't do freebies, but I do like my business card with a scratch off coupon. And I include all that in the materials to make the item. I also include the Etsy fees. So I include those automatically this spreadsheet has a formula. I do the listing fee and the transaction fee and then the shipping fee, all that. And then I also charge myself, I charge for my time. So I have like an hourly number that I'm comfortable with that I put into how long it takes me to make the item. And then that helps me decide how much to price my items. And I also factor in, I always run a sale. So I factor in before something is listed. If I'm running a shop all the time, I'm sorry, running a sale all the time, I adjust for that so that I'm not losing money on any of those things. And I do the same thing for the offsite ads. I did the math, and I only have to pad in like 30 cents for all my items because I don't get that many offsite ad sales, like 10 a year. So I did that math. Yeah, absolutely. You want to add all of that into the price so that it makes sense. If you get a sale and you don't make any money, you might think that's okay maybe the first couple times. Over time, as I looked at my business after 3 or 4 months of really doing some good selling, I wasn't making any money because I wasn't factoring in all the costs. And for like what it's worth, I didn't even know how much it cost me to make my items. It was, when you start as a hobby, like I did, I wasn't thinking about that. And somewhere along the line, it did become a business for me, but I didn't adjust my thinking. Even if it's a hobby, you still want to know that you've made at least your money back if that's all that you want to do. Okay, so any other questions you guys have? I'm happy to end it there, but hopefully this helps. Hopefully we can keep focusing on the things that that we've been doing, really focusing on good SEO, really focusing on having clickable pictures, having excellent customer service. Yeah, your problem's paying yourself. Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard. But when you have lower priced items, that you don't want to price yourself out of the market. But I'll tell you, long term, it's very demoralizing and exhausting to continue to give to your business where you don't get any money back. And I mean, all businesses have profit margins that they have to look at, and labor, it's different. But make sure that you're paying yourself some kind of a livable wage. And if you can't find a way to do that, then that's when you start looking at your processes. Like I make these little wooden magnets and I just could not price them to get any profit. So I had to really think, okay, how I'm making these, can I find cheaper wood? They're little wood slices. Can I find cheaper glue or magnets, or can I speed up my process? And now what I do is I batch them. When I make one for a customer, I make like 5. I do it all at the same time. It's much faster. And then I keep them ready to go. So, you look at your materials, you look at your process, and if you can't save any money, then you have to decide, is this something that I still want to sell? And is this, am I okay with not making money on this item? Or are there other things in my shop that I make more money on, and this is okay? So you have to kind of decide for yourself. All right, SEO question. If I search for the searchable tags, do I need to put them in the same order as my title? So I think what you're asking is, once you write your title, and your title is, your auto-populated search phrases and their multi-word and all that good stuff. You got your gift phrases. When it's time to put them into your tags, they can be in any order. They don't have to match the order that they're in your title. Absolutely true. And tags don't have to make sense the same way that your title phrases do. Like just putting Happy Halloween in your title is not going to work because you're not selling Happy Halloween. You're selling like today I was talking to someone, Halloween floor mat. It's like a welcome mat. So Halloween floor mat, when you put it into your tags, it's okay if you have, let's say it's Happy Halloween home decor is the phrase. I'm just making that up. So that splits into multiple tags. Your tags don't have to make sense grammatically the same way that they do in your title, if that helps. Wait, if So maybe I'm missing your question, Susie. If you search for the searchable tags, do you need to put them in the same order? With your title, the only thing I've ever seen about the title was that the first phrase has the most weight, and that's with Google and I think with Etsy. I always try to put the most important phrase at the very beginning, the what it is phrase that sort of sums up what you're selling. Other than that, it doesn't make a lot of difference where you put something. Is that what you're asking? Okay, I'm assuming so. All right, thank you. You're welcome. Anybody else? All right, well, hopefully that helps. The last thing I wanted to mention is the graphic here, how many words is the first phrase? It's however many words you want. Your title can have 144 characters. So typically a phrase that I use is between 2 and 4 or 5 words, depending on what it is that you're selling. So it can be as many words as it needs to be, as long as they are auto-populating in the search bar. Okay, so last thing, just a reminder, the Underachievers Plus group, which is our fast track training and coaching group, there's a price change happening on the 1st of August. And I want to make sure that if you're on the fence or you've been waiting to join, this is your sign to join, because starting on the 1st, there'll be the slight increase. Now that the training portal is almost completely filled out and we're doing so much live training in there, it was always my plan to raise the price after about a year, and we're coming up on the year. So we're going to start that August 1st. If you're interested, you want to check it out. I do have a video if you kind of want to see like what the portal looks like. There's a video in the group guides where you can see how I have it set up. And then obviously the private Facebook group, where we do a lot of questions and a lot of talking about SEO every single day. All right, thanks guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, but let me know if you have questions. I guess this live will be floating around in the group for a little while, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.